Hello all, I welcome you in this video tutorial for Nebosh IGC May 8, 2024 exam closing interview preparations. In this tutorial, I will briefly explain you how you have to answer the question when the interviewer will ask from you. So let's start. I will follow the following steps in this preparation of the closing interview. Number one, I will read the main points of the scenario, and in the number two, I will read the summary of the scenario as well, so that you understand what was the situation actually. As you people aware that the Nebosh IGC exam is based on scenario, and some tasks are asked from the Nebosh to response, and it is open book examination. And obviously, at the end, you have to undergo our closing interview by the learning partner. So this interview lasts for 10 to 15 minutes, and usually they ask 2 to 3 questions from you, so that they check whether the paper you submitted is done by yourself. It is purely your work, and you have a clear idea about the understanding of the scenario. In step 3, I will also explain all the possible questions that the interviewer may ask from you in this closing interview with their answers. So let's start with reading the main points of the scenario. So, gentlemen, basically, this is a factory named Northern Mill. The name of this factory or organization is Northern Mill, who is a textile organization, and they manufacture textile clothing for national and international customers. This organization has a large factory with 50 employees, including 30 factory workers, 4 supervisors, and administrative staff. In this factory, there was an accident, serious accident 6 months before. So after that accident, the owner of this organization started efforts to improve health and safety, like revising policy, updating risk assessments, implementing preventive maintenance, and providing worker training. The new factory workers received induction training covering basic health and safety, because these were the steps taken by the management of the Northern Mill. But there were some problems as well. In this factory, there was a senior supervisor who was almost experienced with 10 years service in this Northern Mill factory, making textile products, but his attitude was not good. His name in this scenario is R, Supervisor R, and he was always reluctant to follow health and safety protocols and health and safety measures, and he always resisted if there is any change in the policy and there was new instruction for implementing health and safety, and he was always negatively responding for any instruction given by the management. The another problem with this supervisor R was that when a new worker joined this company, the supervisor R deputed him on a difficult work, a dyeing machine, which was not a work for a new worker. Actually, there were some experienced workers to work on this dyeing machine, but the supervisor R, due to his negative attitude, and because of his superiority, he deployed the new worker on this machine alone. He did not provide any supervision to him, and because of that pressure of the work, the new worker was about to injured. He got a near miss. He was about to have an accident, but fortunately saved. The new worker overloaded the dyeing machine, became entangled, but was rescued before injury by supervisor as using the emergency stop button. When this new worker was about to entangle his hand into the dyeing machine, there was another supervisor who is called S, was seeing him, was looking at him, and suddenly rushed him and stopped the emergency stop button of the machine, dying machine. So machine was stopped. Also, he took another steps to save him. So supervisor S properly responded to the near miss by investigating, removing the machine from service and caring for the shaken worker. The revised health and safety policy commits to injury prevention, training, risk assessments, and worker involvement, among other elements. As we see that 6 months before, there was a serious accident, and after that accident, the management of the Northern Mail decided to improve their health and safety performance by taking different steps. One step they took that they hired a health and safety consultant and tasked him to audit the whole health and safety management system of the organization, and they also updated the safety policy and risk assessments, and also they introduced a preventive maintenance program for all the machines, and also they introduced worker training with induction. Induction is the training which is given to the worker when they joins as a new hire. So, although there were many efforts by this management of Northern Mail to improve the health and safety performance by taking different steps, I have explained you. But there were some problem as well. Still, there were some problem as we see that the new worker was about to have an accident, but fortunately he was saved by another supervisor S. But one supervisor R, whose attitude was very negative, and he always have a superiority complex. He thinks himself that he's 10 years experience and seniors to all. So he always put pressure on the workers to do the work immediately without having some safety measures. So now let's compile this whole situation with a short summary. So this scenario basically revolves around Northern Mill, as I explained that this company is a textile company named it's Northern Mill, and it manufactures different textile products for national and international customers. It has increased its focus on health and safety following a serious accident 6 months prior. So no, there 6 months before there was an accident at this company. So after that accident, their management was very serious to improve the health and safety, the performance of this company. The owner hired a consultant to audit the facility and implement improvements like revising policy, updating risk assessments, preventive maintenance programs, and annual worker safety trainings. However, one supervisor named Supervisor R has resisted these changes, viewing them as a waste of time and money. This resistance came to a head when Supervisor R rushed a new factory worker on an unfamiliar task with the dyeing machine in order to meet a deadline. With inadequate supervision, the new worker overloaded the machine, becomes entangled in the textiles, and was only rescued by the another supervisor as hitting the emergency stop button before injury occurred. This near miss incident highlighted lapses in the organization's health and safety efforts, while the responding supervisors handled the situation properly. The scenario raises questions about the implementation of the revised policies, effectiveness of training, worker cooperations, and organizational learning from the such events. Key issues explored include procedural controls, individual factors contributing to incidents, enforcement of the safety rules, and the benefits of the measures like risk assessment, worker involvement, and incident investigation. So, although there were many efforts taken by the management of the Northern Mill to improve the overall health and safety performance of this company, but still there were many problems and issues because one near miss happened. Near miss is that incident in which the actual damage not happened, the actual accident not happened. There is no injury in that. There is no damage to any equipment in that, but it was about to happen. So it should be treated equally as an accident. So now I will explain you the possible questions with their possible answer. So first question, your interviewer may ask from you that why audit is better than safety inspection. As we see from the scenario, that the management hired a new health and safety consultant and ordered him that he should conduct an audit of detailed audit of all the health and safety management system of this company. So, what are the benefits by having this detailed audit? So, an audit allows for a more comprehensive and in-depth evaluation of an organization's overall health and safety management system by an external expert. An audit provides an independent, objective assessment and can identify gaps and opportunities for improvement that may be missed internally. Audits are often aimed at facilitating meaningful changes and drive continuous improvement rather than just checking minimum compliance like an inspection. So, gentlemen, there is a difference between audit and routine inspection. Audit is basically a detailed examination of your overall health and safety management system. It checks all the policies, it checks all the procedures, it checks and inspects all the working men on the different machines, all the departments in their scope, and these are checked by the external expert. External auditors are experts, but you see that the inspections is vice versa. In inspection, it is a routine activity which is done by the workers or immediate supervisors on daily basis, maybe weekly basis, for a specific department or a specific machine. But the audit is done for the whole of the management system. And because of the audit, you have many benefits and you can improve the overall health and safety management performance of your whole company. So in this way, there are many benefits by having a detailed audit. The second question your interviewer may ask from you that how Northern Mills manage their risks. As we see that there was an accident 6 months ago in this Northern Mill factory. So, and also there was a near miss. This means there was some risk available in this company. So the interviewer may ask you that what is your opinion that how the management manage their risks. So Northern Mill shows a strong approach to factory risk management. Their revised safety policy and updated risk assessments set clear guidelines. The preventive maintenance program and worker training proactively address potential issues. Finally, dedicating a health and safety advisor demonstrate a commitment to ongoing risk management. So we see that management taken a lot of steps to improve their management of the risks. They hired a new health and safety consultant for detailed audit. They updated their safety policies. They even updated and reviewed their previous risk assessments. In the risk assessments, they highlighted all those areas where more risks are present. Also, they have produced and developed a new proactive maintenance program of all the machine because of the new risk assessment. So we see that they make improvements in their risk assessment management because of the previous accident which happened 6 months before. The third question may be asked by you from the interviewer that what individual factors of the new factory worker contributed could have contributed to the near miss. As we see that there was a near miss, the new worker who was assigned duty by the supervisor R, as I explained to you that supervisor R was very bad attitude. He was very negative thinking and he thinks himself that he is superior to all. So he deputed the new worker without thinking that he's new and he needs more training to work on an independent time machine. But he asked the worker if he did not completed his work on time, he will report him. He threatened the worker, new worker. So the new worker was pressurized. So he want to be site and started his work on the time machine, but suddenly when he was about to load some clothes into the dyeing machine, his hand was about to entangle into the machine. But there were, fortunately, another supervisor was passing through there supervisor S, and he saw that the new worker was about to injured. So immediately he came to the side and pushed the emergency stop button of the dyeing machine, and the machine was stopped. Also, he asked the another worker that immediately close down the complete machine so that no other worker should be injured. Also, he took the new worker, as we see that new worker was very upset mentally because of this incident and this, and he was demotivated. He was very frightened at that, but the worker has asked him, no need to worry, and he took him to his office and asked him to stay safe. So we see that there were some individual factors which contributed into this near miss. What were those? The worker was new and may not have adequate training or familiarization with the specific machinery and safety protocols. Because of the lack of training and new, he was not competent to perform his work. So this near miss was about to happen, as evidenced by their uncertainty and the rushed induction by the supervisor R. The urgency communicated by supervisor R to complete the task quickly due to an error with the delivery date likely pressurized the new workers into bypassing safety checks and proper procedures, leading them to the overload the dyeing machine. So one thing was the worker was new, he was untrained, and also he was pressurized by the worker R, supervisor R. So he made the mistakes also because of this urgency. And also the new worker was inexperienced and he did not manage to check that whether he should put his hand into the dyeing machine or not. And there was no supervision provided to him, and this near miss happened. The question more about the supervisors as manage the near miss. As we see that one supervisor R was of bad attitude, but another supervisor S who was of good thinking, when he saw the worker, new worker was about to injured into the dyeing machine, he immediately rushed to the side and stopped the emergency button, pushed the emergency stop button, and the machine was stopped. So the new worker was saved and he was not injured, but he was very upset. So when he was upset, the new supervisor stayed with him and took him to his office and motivated him. Supervisor has managed the near miss involving the new factory workers effectively. Upon noticing the new workers' dangerous situation, supervisor has immediately intervened by rushing over and pressing the emergency stop button on the machine, thereby preventing potential injury. After stopping the machine, supervisor has took proactive steps to ensure the workers' emotional and physical well-being by escorting them to a quiet area to calm down and checking for injuries as the design first aiders. Recognizing the seriousness of the incident, supervisor has also took swift action to secure the site by instructing another worker to shut down the machine to prevent further use. These actions demonstrated a strong presence of mind and adherence to the safety protocols, which were crucial in handling the near miss efficiently and preventing a possible accidents. So we see that there were many good steps taken by the supervisor as to save the worker, new worker. The question 5 may be about what procedural controls were in place to reduce the likelihood of an accident involving the dyeing machine. So procedural controls are those that which are basically linked with the working of the machineries. So we see that there were many good procedural controls in place with the dyeing machine. What were those? So several procedural controls were in place at Northern Mail to reduce the likelihood of an accident involving the dyeing machine. These included clear labeling on each machine, detailing its lane, load capacity limit, and basic operating instructions, which aimed to guide workers in the proper use of the equipment. The factory had also implemented a planned preventive maintenance program for all machines, ensuring they remain in good working conditions and reducing the risk of the mechanical failures that could lead to accidents. Furthermore, the revised induction process for new factory workers, which included basic health and safety training and specific training on the safe system of work for using factory machinery, was designed to equip workers with necessary safety knowledge and skills. These measures collectively contributed to a structured approach to managing risk associated with the dyeing machine and other equipment on the factory floor. So we see that the Northern Mill have taken many procedural control measures to decrease the likelihood of the accidents. There were proper labels on the machines with operation instruction that how the machine should be operated. Also, they have a planned preventive maintenance program. So these were also, they revised the induction training, they updated the risk assessment, they revised these health and safety policies. So these all measures were good to reduce the likelihood of the accident. The next question is about the health and safety policy of the Northern Rail organization. The interviewer may ask that there are few points whether we think or agree that these points were met with the health and safety policy of the organization or not. For example, the first point is preventing accidents, near misses, injury, and ill health. Yes, we can say that when the management updated the policy and they were able to prevent accidents, near misses, injury, and ill health, not completely but partially, because their near miss happened. Although they were successful in preventing accident, but there was near miss. There was no injury and there was no ill health. So we see that this point was partially implemented, investigating accidents and near miss. Yes, this point was completely implemented by this policy, because we see after the accident, after the near miss, there was a detailed investigation of the near miss, and before that, there was a 6 months before there was an accident. So the company conducted a detailed investigation to see this point of the policy was met. Providing safe and healthy working conditions. We see that in the previous 6 months, although the management tried their best to provide safe and healthy working conditions by taking different steps, but they were partially successful, because we see that the new worker was about to injure and he was not provided training, and the supervisor was not managed properly, and he always deployed the worker with hurry. So we see that this point was implemented partially, providing safe plant and equipment. Yes, this point was implemented because all the machines present at the plant and the Northern Mill factory, they have proper labels, load capacity, and work instructions. So we can see that this point was met. Setting and reviewing health and safety objective. Although we have not appropriate knowledge and information about the objectives of this health and safety policy, but we see that the management updated the health and safety policy there, so that we can estimate that objectives were also met, was also updated. So we can see that this point was partially implemented. Identifying health and safety hazard and risk in the workplace. Yes, we can say that this point was implemented because the company, the Northern Mills organization, updated their risk assessments to identify all the hazards and the risks. Providing adequate training. Yes, we see that this point was met because the management decided to provide the new induction pack with all new workers and even refresher training for all the previous employees and workers. So we can see that they were providing adequate training to their workers, providing health and safety information to the workers. As far as information is concerned, we see that this point was not completely implemented. Some information they provided to the worker, but some information was missing. So we can say that this point was partially implemented. Involving the workers. We do not see any information regarding the involvement of the workers, and we do not see that there is any procedure available for the worker involvement, any representative of the workers or any safety committee there. So we see that this point was not implemented. The provision of the resources required to make this policy and arrangement effective. Yes, we see that to some extent this point was met because the management implemented the audit system by the hiring of a new health and safety consultant. That means they were allocating proper resources, but we do not have enough evidence that other people were appointed to improve the health and safety of this management system or not. We do not see any roles and responsibilities, so that we can say that this point was partially implemented. Question number 7 is about the workers have not cooperated with their employers. The workers' non-cooperation with the employers. We see that although the management of the Northern Mill have implemented many safety measures, they have introduced new induction pack. They have included basic health and safety training in the induction pack, and also the management asked the supervisor R to inform and train all the new workers, but the supervisor R, who was misbehaving and of bad attitude, he neglected this instruction. So we can say the cooperation of the Northern Mill workers with their employers partially regarding safety measures. So the workers' cooperation with the employer was partial, not completely cooperation. There were many missings. So the safety measures appears to be mixed. So we can say that this reaction was mixed. While the factory has implemented various safety protocols and training, there is evidence of some resistance among workers, notably from the supervisor R. The supervisor, who has influence and tenure, has openly criticized the new safety measures as a waste of time and money, and displayed a dismissive attitude towards health and safety protocols. This behavior likely undermines the effectiveness of these measures and could contribute to a culture where other workers might also not take safety protocols seriously. Furthermore, the incident with the new worker being rushed and left unsupervised suggests a lapse in the following established safety protocols, indicating that the cooperation required by ILO's recommendation might not be fully achieved among all staff members. So we can say that as long as the cooperation of the worker with the management is concerned, there was a mixed response. To some extent, the worker cooperated, but in most of the cases, the worker did not cooperate with the employer. And we have evidence that why the worker not cooperated. We see that the worker, the supervisor R, who was a senior most supervisor, the management instructed him that he should provide all the workers with election training, but he ignored it. This means he did not cooperate. Also, many other evidence available that the worker did not fully cooperate with the employer. The next question, that what are the potential benefits of involving Northern Mills factory workers in the workplace health and safety? So this question is about the benefits of the employer-worker cooperation and involvement. As we see in the previous question, that the workers did not cooperate well with the management, but if the interviewer asks me that if the workers cooperate and involve, you make being the management, you involve the worker with your improvements of health and safety, what benefits will you receive? So involving Northern Mills factory workers in workplace health and safety can lead to several significant benefits. What that benefits are? Firstly, it can enhance the workers' understanding and commitment to safety protocols. If the workers involved with the management and they cooperate to the management, they will understand all the safety procedures, policies, and information. As they are more likely to follow procedures, they have help develop or understand deeply, because when they feel that they are involved with all the actions the management is taking, so they will own them and also will understand all the procedure easily. This involvement can also lead to better identification of the potential hazards, since workers are often the first to recognize safety issues in their immediate work environments. Additionally, engaging workers in safety discussions can improve morale and foster a culture of safety where workers feel valued and responsible for their and their colleagues' well-being. Overall, involving workers in health and safety initiatives can lead to a safer workplace, reduced accident rates, and improve compliance with safety regulations, which are crucial for operational efficiency and the protection of all the employees. So we see that in this question, if they ask you the benefits of the worker environment, so there are many benefits that the overall health and safety performance will improve, the hazard recognition will be done properly. When the worker will cooperate with the employer, they will understand all the new policies and procedures and information. So in this way, overall, the health and safety culture of the organization will improve. The last question the interviewer may ask from you that why is it important for Northern Male to learn lesson from adverse events such as the near miss? As we see that there were two incidents. One 6 months before there was a serious accidents, but after the 6 months there was a near miss where the new worker was about to injure, but he was saved by the supervisor as well. So here, if the interviewer asks you that what lesson that you can achieve through the investigation of the near miss, then you will reply that learning from near misses offers Northern Male a wealth of benefits. By analyzing these close calls or near misses, they can proactively prevent future accidents, improve safety measures, and identify weaknesses in your systems. This not only protects employees and reduces costs, but also promotes a culture of safety and social responsibility. So in this way, I have explained you almost 9 questions, which are the basically tasks of this scenario-based question paper. And in your real exam, you may have explained all the questions in detail, but you know the time for the interview is only 15 to 20 minutes. So it is not possible for the interviewer to ask more than 3 to 4 questions. Maximum they ask 3 questions. So they want to check your basic knowledge. You should not worry, and you should not be panicked about the incident, about this interview, and you should be very confident before the start of the interview. Please check your all the systems, gadgets, volumes, your system, and also check from your learning partner that they have sent appropriate email to you with complete schedule, the date and time of the interview. So be prepared and well prepared on the time of the interview. And don't miss that. Also, the interviewer may ask you to show your identity as well. So you should keep your identity card or passport which you have registered with the Nebosh during your examination registration. So you will show that on to the cameras. Your system cameras. So please be ready for that, and I wish you success for your complete exams, and all the best. Thank you and take care.